Hello viewers, I'm your host Christina Pagan, and remember this is a live and interactive talk show. We want to encourage you to join in on the conversation by following our social media pages on Twitter at BronxNet TV and Facebook by going to facebook.com/openbronxnettelevision. Not-for-profit public radio station 99.5 FM is at risk of shutting down, jeopardizing freedom of speech on the radio. The station has launched a campaign titled the Transmitter Fund in order to raise the money needed to pay the transmitter tower rent. Here to share more about the campaign and their upcoming event is Catherine Davis and Ibrahim González. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Could you tell us a little bit about what WBAI stands for? What is their mission?
WBAI is a listener-supported radio station. It's approximately 52 years old that it was created, and it's part of the Pacifica network, which is about 10 years older. Pacifica was created by Lou Hill, who was a war pacifist in World War II, and actually was jailed so as not to go to war. And he created this first one radio station. It became a network, and its purpose is to bridge the gap between understandings and bring people together of different belief systems, different races, different creeds, to be able to create peace across the world. And WBAI was created by a gentleman named Lou Schweitzer, who was also very much opposed to the impact of commercials on media and on the ability of media to report the true news. And he ultimately donated his station to Pacifica, and WBAI became part of the Pacifica network that has 5 stations: New York, Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, Berkeley, California, and Los Angeles.
What kind of programming can we find on Pacifica here in New York?
Well, we have a mixture of public affairs, music, and something we call live radio, which is sort of like what you're doing, where it's eclectic and mixes music and conversation and the arts with public affairs. And we have a number of talk shows. We have Wake Up Call from at 6 to 8, and Democracy Now! From 8 to 9. And then we have programs like Talk Back and 5 O'Clock Shadow, which are all politically based. And then we have a music strip in the morning, 10 to 12. We have music programs on the weekend. And in the evenings and overnights, it's more eclectic. But it's sort of a checkerboard of different kinds of programs. We have programs that focus on housing issues, on legal issues, social justice, labor. So we really are, we call ourselves the, the radio station for the 99%, and we cover those issues.
Indeed. So what's the problem now? What's going on with this transmitter? Where is it and why?
The transmitter is on top of the Empire State Building, and we've had the transmitter there from the beginning, and the rents have escalated tremendously, and so we went from paying something in the neighborhood of $30,000 a month. Now that's a lot.
That is a lot.
But now we're having to pay between $49,000 and $52,000 each month for our transmitter. And it's important because we reach the whole city, all the boroughs, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. It's a very broad audience that we can reach. And since the towers came down, the Empire State Building is kind of the only game in town. And so the rent has escalated.
They've taken advantage.
Well, yeah, I guess they have the ability to do that. And we've also had the same kind of difficulty with our office address. We were at Wall Street, a Wall Street address. When we moved in, it was a building designed for nonprofit organizations. About midway through, it was purchased and converted into 50-50 commercial. And, rents escalated very quickly there as well. Right. And because we don't actually take corporate money at all, we only depend on the listeners, the CPB, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. But those are really small donations that come to us. And times have been hard for everyone, so the donations haven't been where we needed them to be to keep scale with our escalating costs. So we've kind of been dragging behind us this debt that slowly built up. Right. And, we'd pay on it regularly, but we could never quite catch up. And so we approached a point where sort of the roof fell in. And a lot of that was with Hurricane Sandy. And we were on Wall Street, right by the water, the East River. And our building actually flooded almost to the 3rd floor.
Wow.
And we've had no phone service since that time.
Oh my goodness.
So we've been struggling, but we're moving ahead. And we've moved the studios, sharing with City University in Harlem and over by 137th Street. And then we have office space downtown. It's a space that was offered to nonprofits because of Hurricane Sandy. So we have a few months reprieve. And so now we're at the point of needing to get current on all of these bills that have escalated and threatened to shut us down, really.
What kind of threshold are you looking at?
Well, we're looking to raise $500,000 by the end of the month. We're halfway there, so it's not, you know, it's not as tragic as it might have been. And so we've been paying really huge payments to the Empire State Building. We've made like a $50,000 payment, $120,000 payment, something like that. So we're making huge payments, and we're also paying on our back rent to the tune of $30,000, $20,000. So it's like between now and August, I would say, that we have this period where we have to really catch up and raise enough money to keep the station broadcasting.
I understand you're having an event tonight to help with that.
Yes, we are. We're having an event at SOB's, and Ibrahim will talk more about that.
Yeah, the world-famous Sounds of Brazil at 405 Varick Street and the corner of West Houston. And we have several bands playing. We're going to have a band called Ibrahim, González and Y Amigos. And then also,
you're not in that, right?
I'm heading it front and center, and I'm, you know, back in the music business the way I want to be with this event. This has been my impetus to get back behind the congas. And Chico Alvarez and Mauricio Smith Jr. with their charanga band. Manny Oquendo's Libre, which is Bronx-based, originally from here, under the direction of Andy González. And then we're also going to have another Bronx, a son of the Bronx. We got SOBs playing at SOB. Bobby Sanabria and his Afro-Cuban jazz big band from the Manhattan School of Music.
Wow.
All of that begins tonight at 6 p.m. It's the first in a series of fundraisers that we're going to do off the air, because we can't just keep pitching on the air and asking for money. It impacts the programming in a way that it doesn't allow for the creative stuff to come through as much. But that's tonight at SOB's, and there's a phone number people can call to get tickets. Could I give that out on the air?
Absolutely.
Put it up on the screen on the lower third. Okay, here we go. It's 516-620-3602. You can call there and buy tickets, but not only that, but also anybody that wants to make a contribution to the transmitter fund, they could also call that number to make a contribution to save our transmitter. Once the transmitter goes, there's no more radio station. It'll be taken off the map in terms of terrestrial radio. So everybody's pulling together. Kathy, myself, all of our colleagues at WBAI, our volunteers, people on the board of directors, on the local station board, and the Pacifica National. It's a big family. And we extend our invitation to the people of the Bronx and beyond to help us out on the cause.
Yes, we have a lot of members that reside in the Bronx, so I'm really happy to be able to be here to talk to them from your TV station. And they could actually come to our website as well, WBAI.org. And not only will you see the various ways that you can support the station, you could also see the schedule, because Ibrahim has a program there on Sunday and Chico has a program on Sunday. And so a lot of the people that you'll be seeing and meeting at this event are producers at our radio station. And so it's a big community, and we hope to expand and flourish.
Are there any other alternatives for you guys other than transmitting through the Empire State Building? I mean, in terms of like web broadcasting, things like that?
Well, we do broadcast on the internet. If you go to our website, WBAI.org, it streams. But there's something about having a radio broadcast, it's the only thing that's really free, that everyone can have access to in a way that maybe not everyone has a computer, but people can get access to radio. And it also gives us a tremendous local power. So the internet is important when you want to reach across the globe. But we're a New York station, and we bring in people from the community, and we cover the issues that are taking place in the Bronx and in Queens and in Brooklyn. And so it's a very live station, and I think it's important to have that terrestrial radio experience. It's a very different kind of experience than internet radio, because much of it is live.
And let me piggyback with the fact that the large media conglomerations have swallowed up a lot of the frequencies from coast to coast, and we're one of the few standing non-commercial radio stations, especially here in New York, where 99.5 FM is right in the middle of the dial. To the left of us and to the right of us, nothing but commercial radio.
Right.
Except
Very
for
popular stations, too.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, very competitive, and they do what they do well, but we do what we do. And we represent community and a different paradigm for communication here in New York City.
Right. Can you give us that number again for...
Sure. The number to call in for donations for the Transmitter Fund, and also to purchase tickets for tonight's WBAI dance party at SOB's is 516-620-3602.
With that amazing lineup that you have going on there. So you said the doors are at 5?
Yeah, doors open at 5.
And
we're going to go till 10. Who knows? If we pack the place, we might go a little later.
That'd be fantastic.
The show will start at 6.
That's right.
That's great. Do you have any other things you want to say? How can people get involved in terms of being with the radio, working at the radio?
Well, they should go to the website, WBAI.org, because we do have interns, and we have people who come in and get involved with the station. We need a lot of volunteers. Most of our producers are actually, unpaid volunteer producers. So I would say 98% of the producers who have regular programs are volunteers. And so that would be the thing to do, to go to the website and get in contact with us and find out how you can get involved in producing radio.
Great. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about a project to improve public spaces, so stay tuned.